back. Oh my God. Jake.
The dog.
I just said you can't do this. We're filming. The cameras are hot. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be answering questions that a lot of friends and family members have asked us about what it's like moving to Australia and what it's been like living here. So I've got all the questions on my phone and we'll just get through as many as we feel like we can. Patrick has graciously said he would participate in this video. So
Very gracious.
very gracious. And then we're gonna have some wine because I think both of us will feel more comfortable if we have some wine. So Patrick's drinking a Malbec Jacob! I don't want them to knock over the tripod. You, oh my God, you're back, KT. On your bed? Can you go lay down on your bed?
On your bed.
Leave her alone. Leave it. So I'm drinking one of the wines from my Naked wine box from the month of July, even though it is no longer July. I'm going to be drinking the Fuzzy in May Semillon from the Hunter Valley. So I'm really excited for that. And Patrick's got some Malbec, but I think he might end up wanting to try mine. So you're just gonna be able to hear the cat growling in the background of this.
It's okay.
Hey, you guys away from the tripods. I don't like it that you've chosen that exact.
Oh no. Time out for the puppy.
They're playing underneath the tripods, so we can't have that. First question, when you moved, how did you bring all of your things? Did you think about just selling everything, or were you always planning to bring your stuff?
I think it was a little of both. We sold some stuff and turned it into a party with a bunch of friends and family. But we kind of a little bit established and had some furniture and stuff that we bought with wedding money that we wanted to keep and didn't want to part with, and kind of ended up being about the same to just do a shipping container.
I think it was actually less to like ship our stuff over versus selling everything and buying new.
Furnish a new house.
Just because Australia is fairly expensive, which we'll get to in a little bit, but you know, we did like weigh the pros and cons of everything. We actually like calculated out the costs of a shipping container versus buying everything new. And it just kind of made sense for us to do the shipping container because like Patrick said, we had a lot of stuff that we got after our wedding that we loved. And like we have our mattress, which was pretty expensive. I mean, and you
couch
know,
and coffee table and bookshelves.
Selling a mattress, we would have got like nothing for it anyway, you know? So it just kind of made sense when we sat down, and we had to get rid of a lot of stuff because the voltage is different. So we had to sell like TVs.
Kitchen appliances.
Yeah, all our lamps we had to sell. So we did end up buying some new stuff when we got here, but for the most part we brought it all over, and I'm still pretty happy with that.
And it was nice to kind of furnish our new home with the home that was in Seattle, and just kind of felt a little more comforting. And
I was like, like pulling stuff out of the boxes. It's like, here's this. So that was great. The shipping company we worked with was really great. They unloaded all the boxes while he was at work in the pouring rain. They carried everything in, which was so nice. And then I told them to go home because it was Friday, and they were like, no, we're going to unpack all your boxes. And I was like, get out. Because I wanted to do it. But also because it was Friday, so they got to leave work like 3 hours early. Anyway, you're welcome. How did you get the cat? How did you get the cat to Australia?
Australia is not very cat welcoming.
Well,
or animal welcoming.
Obviously, Australia is an island, and they've got the rabies under control here, so they're
very careful.
Yeah, what's the word? They're like parameters for importing live animals is insane. And we had to hire help because the process is just so involved, and like if we missed one thing, her whole thing could be denied.
Visa and special vet appointments.
Yeah.
And certain vaccinations to get.
Yeah.
Quarantine here that she had to settle, and flights to schedule.
There was just so much, and you think, oh, well, maybe you don't. But at first I was like, oh, no, I could probably do this. Like, I could probably plan it out. And then just like, I remember just like reading through all the lists and stuff and being like, what? Like, I didn't even know what some of the requirements meant. I mean, obviously the vet did and everything. So we worked with another company for that. Moving Finley here cost almost twice as much as moving our entire shipping container full of our household goods.
14-pound cat.
14-pound cat. There she goes. She's like, I know you're talking about me. We call her the world's most expensive cat.
Yep.
Because right before we moved here, she had laser eye surgery.
She's a special one.
She's our special girl.
Yep.
But it was worth it, though, to have her here. And she's really happy and settled in pretty quickly, which was nice.
Yeah, she's her normal self.
We are getting our cat today, Finley, who's been in quarantine in Melbourne for the last 10 days. In the car, gonna go sit in traffic for an hour. Here we go.
That's her.
Finley! Hey! 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 Finley! Oh, lots to say. Hey! Hey, Finley! Finny! Where are we? Wow. Oh, lots to say. Cranky. 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 Place. What's next? How did you find your rental house?
I found it.
Yeah, this is you.
She was
Take
off
it away. Jesus, take the wheel.
She was off gallivanting in Thailand with
Yeah,
her dad.
I was in Asia.
But it was during this kind of lull in Australia. The last 2 weeks of the year, a lot of workplaces have the time off.
If you have the vacation.
If you have the vacation, you can
Yeah.
use the vacation. If you don't want to, you don't want to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of quiet, but all the rental markets are gone through realtors.
Mm-hmm.
So I just found it on one of their websites, and I was lucky enough to be able to find it before they had an open house. So, hi Finley. Finley obviously loves it.
Yeah, showing you her butt.
Did the tour. Did all the paperwork and signed her life away, and
Yeah.
and it's a little more involved here when we had
yeah.
apartment in Seattle. That was fill out a form and good to go.
Stop
it.
Leave the mic alone.
Fill out a form and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Here was give your firstborn child.
Yeah, we had to sell the soul of our unborn firstborn child to live here, but that's okay.
But we got it. She trusted me, and she never even seen it before we signed the lease.
Well, I mean, I saw it. I kind of saw it because
photos. I took photos and some videos.
And a video. The funny thing was I was in Thailand shooting a wedding, and it was a hill tribe wedding, so it was way out in the middle of essentially nowhere, close to the border between Myanmar, Burma, and Thailand. I had no cell reception. I knew he was going to look at the house on that day, and I was just like, oh my gosh, because he was looking at other properties too. But I And it's kind of like a, if you know, you need to go. Like, you need to put in your application and get it going because it's first come, first serve. So it wasn't like we could think about it. And I just remember getting back to our guest house from filming the wedding that day and having the videos. They finally came through when I got back to Wi-Fi. And I was like, oh my gosh, this house is perfect. I mean, like, my dream for finding our first place here was just 3 bedrooms, one for us, one for a guest room, and then I really wanted one for like a home office / eventually a nursery. 2 rooms we could have made work, but I really wanted 3 and 2 bathrooms because I'm done living the 1 bathroom lifestyle. And I really wanted those are my 2 most important things. And after that, I really just wanted, if I could find it, like a big open kitchen, something with even a small yard would be great. And this house has all of that. So it was just like it fell into our life like perfectly.
Yeah. Usually rental places, they don't give you appliances, so you usually have to have your own fridge and dishwasher if there's a space for it, and
washing machine.
And this one came with a washing machine and a dishwasher.
That was so lucky. When we were just like, what? We have to buy our own fridge? We were like, this country is weird. I mean, I guess when we leave this house, we get to take the fridge with us. I don't know. It was weird, but anyway. Did you guys need to buy a car? Do you think you need a car in Sydney?
I don't think you need one.
No,
if you're living out in the suburbs a bit, I think it would be
better,
more useful. But if you're living closer to the city, then probably get to grocery stores and everywhere you need to go pretty easily.
Oh, for sure. But the public transit here is really good.
Yep.
I mean, coming from Seattle where public transit wasn't bad. I mean, they've got like the light rail going for them now and the bus system and the sounder train and everything. But it just like doesn't even compare to here. The train system here is, for someone coming from Seattle, it's incredible. I've heard it doesn't really like stack up to the tube in London, from what Mitchell said when he was like, I hate public transit in Sydney.
To us, it's amazing.
It's subjective, but to us, it's so good. You can get almost anywhere on the train. And there's the new metro, which is not buses. It's another train. It's a driverless train. And we live within walking distance to our local metro station. So Patrick can just walk to the metro.
Yeah, we have a 15-minute walk. The trains show up every 4 minutes. I have to transfer once, and whenever I do, there's usually a train, my transfer train waiting there for me.
And you just walk across the platform. It's not even like because the metro and the train, they all kind of interconnect.
And there's a couple big stations where there's 20 to 30 platforms that's been a maze to find your way through if you need to transfer. But
yeah, we've done some running through Central Station, but that's okay. It helped orient us.
Yeah.
Try doing it with a suitcase though. You haven't had to do that yet. That was me coming home from Thailand, jet lagged AF, sick. With my suitcase at Central Station. Don't recommend. But yeah, I totally think you could get by here without a car. At least at first, if you were just planning your move over here, a car is not a necessity if you're going to be staying somewhere that's even remotely close to a train station. Or the buses here aren't bad either. We haven't really bussed, but we had a friend living here when we moved here who took the bus a lot, and she said it was really good.
Yeah. And she never had a car. I don't think she ever actually drove.
No. Yeah, she never had a car.
She never drove, and she was over here for 2 years.
2 years, something like that. Sorry, Curly. So yeah, you definitely don't need a car at first, but then if you move a little bit outside of the city like we did, it really is helpful because we can walk to a grocery store. We definitely have a grocery store within walking distance, but
maybe 15-20 minute walk to the big shopping center.
Easier to drive. So we do have a car. We thankfully had access to my Nana's car when we moved here. So we're currently borrowing Nana's car. It's just kind of in our family right now. And as soon as we can get out there and do some car shopping and find something else, we will make the switch. So hopefully later this year. Having a car for exploring and stuff, definitely.
Yeah.
But, just the basics, if you were just moving here, you're good with the trains and the metro, I think. Okay, what's next? How's driving on the left?
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just because I've always driven on the right in the past, but it's different.
It is different. And when we first got here, Patrick did most of the driving. I don't know why. I just got like stage fright. I just panicked.
We had a bit of practice because we came here in 2015.
I couldn't drive though.
You didn't. I did a little bit, and then we did our honeymoon in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And we drove across the North Island, so we had a bit of practice.
Yeah.
So it wasn't brand new.
It wasn't brand new, but I still like when we first got here was like. And so you did most of the driving. I remember you were like, "You want to practice?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I actually don't want to practice. You drive."
One of the funniest parts of it is that the driving wheel shifts, and so does the blinker and the windshield wiper.
Oh yeah.
Dongles or whatever they are. So you go to make a turn, and all of a sudden the windshield wipers go.
I still do that. I did that yesterday. Yeah.
I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah. I just, like, my brain just stopped for a second, and I was like, I need to turn right. Which way is it? And I was just like, the windshield wipers. I mean, I just told this story to your parents, but I've been pretty good about driving, except, like, last week or the week before last, I took my free left, because you get free left here instead of the free right, obviously. And I took my left, and then I was driving, and this is just through my neighborhood, so it wasn't on a busy street or anything, but I was driving and I was like, why is this car driving right at me? And I was like, oh my God, I'm on the wrong side of the road. So I got over, I had plenty of time, but that was the first time I've done that in a really long time. I do semi-regularly try to get into the driver's side when I'm intending to be a passenger though. Sometimes I forget that the steering wheel is, but you seem to not have that problem.
I haven't, no. So, sometimes when I'm going back to the car from the grocery store or something, I get to the back of it and it's like,
yeah,
left or
I do that too. Okay, that's funny. I didn't know you did that.
I haven't made it all the way to the door though.
Okay, well, fine. Blah, 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 blah. How have the spiders been? Okay.
We've had one experience so far. We have yet to see a big spider.
Oh, you better knock on some.
Yep. Cockroaches are more of an issue.
Cockroaches are a different story.
They're large and fast.
Large and in charge.
Crunchy.
And they don't die. They just don't die.
Yeah.
So
takes a few whacks of the.
I have cried. I have shed tears over the cockroaches in this country. Enough about that. We've only had one spider incident, and it was a bad one. It was traumatizing. I blacked out most of it, but basically what happened was, so the house we're living in was renovated before we moved in. So it was sold and then bought, and the new owners installed ducted heating and AC. And then the house was, have some more. And then the house was finished and then put on the market to be rented. It was probably the end of January, and it was hot, so we kicked on the AC because it was a very warm day. And it was the evening, and I went into the kitchen. I don't remember what I was doing in the kitchen, but I just saw this tiny little baby spider crawl very quickly. And I was like, nope, sorry, not my house, not today, Satan. And then as soon as I'd killed it, I saw another little baby crawl, and I was like, no. And then I was like, oh, there's two little babies crawling. And so I got them both, and then
I started to see them on the wall, and then I started following them up the wall, and they're everywhere over the ceiling.
We're talking like hundreds. We're talking hundreds of baby huntsmans. So
little tiny ones.
We knew they were huntsmans because we Googled it afterwards. But basically what happened was I screamed. I ran to the storage closet and got our bug spray. Ran back, just like climbed onto the kitchen counter and just like sprayed the shit out of our living room. And then tiny spider babies fell from the ceiling. And then we had to go to my aunt's the next day and borrow her vacuum cleaner because ours had not come yet.
Didn't have one yet.
And we'd ordered it, but we didn't have it yet.
Showered because there was a lot of
a
lot of bug spray everywhere.
And then we had to wash all the curtains and wash the couch cushions because I really went to town. You would have too. Don't judge me.
Luckily, it was before Finley got here.
It was, yeah. We didn't have any animals in the house. It was just us and our hundreds of babies. So that was...
And then for the next couple months, we kept finding little ones here and there.
Vacuuming.
Eventually they stopped, yeah.
We never saw Mama, though.
Yeah.
So
a little afraid to poke our heads up into the attic space.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. There's no reason for us to do that.
It's a decent slope of a roof, so there's some decent space up there, I'm sure.
La 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 la.
There's so many spiders up there.
La 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 la. Stop. What are some of the top places you want to visit in Australia now that you're here? I kind of want to do Tasmania.
Yeah, Tasmania would be fun.
Yeah. I just feel like it's probably really... Well, I don't know, because disclaimer, we have really only done Sydney, and then in 2015 we went up and did Cairns, Brisbane.
Good place.
And drove from Brisbane to Sydney, so we did Byron Bay, and we did Foster, which is just like a little beach town that my family vacations at. So we haven't traveled through Australia very much, and obviously can't really right now because of the virus, but that is another thing that we want to do. Like, we want to explore this country.
We're able to, take a long weekend and explore a different place now.
Yeah, so...
Go up to Darwin or
West
Coast.
Cool. I want to go to Catherine, which is in the Northern Territory. I think it's the Northern Territory. And Broome in Western Australia. And we've got a friend, like a family friend kind of in Perth. So that would be cool to go over there. I want to do Margaret River for wine, which is just south of Perth.
Of course you do.
Whatever. And then the Barossa Valley I want to go to also.
Anywhere there's wine.
Okay. There's good wine here. Okay, that's why we moved here. I'm just kidding. I tricked you.
They also sell wine everywhere.
I know, but
you don't have to go to...
Okay,
location.
I just want to go to Margaret River and the Barossa Valley. Those two are high for me. And this is totally a side note, but another cool thing about us moving here is that I actually live a lot closer to my dad now. So my dad moved to Thailand in 2009, and he's still there. And we've been to Thailand. I think I've been 7 or 8 times, and you've been twice? Twice, okay. Excuse me.
Star of the show here.
What are you doing? She wants her dinner. What's the weather like? Hot as balls?
Usually sunny. The winter is surprisingly cold.
We were not prepared for an Australian winter. I just want to go into this straight up and be like, I did not know. I did not realize it got that cold here.
Yeah.
It gets cold. So I'm so happy to be almost done with winter. We're filming this in the winter, and I'm over it.
It goes from 40 to 30.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got myself locked out of the house the first week we moved in here, and it was 42 degrees outside.
Yeah, that was a bad day to do
Idiot.
that. But the next day it was probably 27.
No, it was not. It's not that drastic.
It is.
I don't think so.
It is. You blacked it out.
I think that it's kind of cool because we didn't get a lot of storms. We got a lot of rain, but not a lot of storms. Mm-hmm. So we've had so many storms since we moved here, and it's kind of cool. Lots of thunder and lightning in the summer, especially normally around 4:00. There would just be a thunderstorm.
Out of nowhere.
It's like blue skies, and then there's a thunderstorm. So,
excuse you, are we bothering you?
Beat it, sister. It's definitely a land of extremes. That's a real phrase. Anything you specifically miss from the U.S.? I'm just gonna go back to mac and cheese. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding though.
Other than our favorite restaurants
and our family and friends, obviously.
Oh, I thought this was
no, I think it is. I was taking it on a tangent there. Obviously, our family and our friends we miss terribly because we feel very isolated here. Thankfully, I have some family here, but we still feel pretty isolated. Mm-hmm. Other than that, Australia has everything that the U.S. had, other than good mac and cheese. I will say again. It's just gonna be the underlying tangent of this video.
Mac and cheese.
Kraft, send us your good shit.
Please sponsor.
Be serious. What do you miss? What do we miss? What do we miss? What do we miss? What do you miss? What do you miss? What do you miss?
We haven't found a good bagel place.
We're going back to food.
Yeah. It's mostly food.
The bagels. It is mostly food. Yeah. The bagels here. Well, I'm sure there are some good bagels, but we have not found any.
As far as activities, I can't think of anything that we couldn't get here.
Yeah. And there are some activities we want to do here that we couldn't do there, like go to the rugby. Oh, no, There's a rugby league. I'm sorry. And we've been to a rugby game in Seattle, so I reject that.
Just can't go to the baseball games anymore.
Oh my God, I miss the Mariners. But no one else can go to the baseball games either. So we're all suffering together. Yeah, it is mostly food related, but I'm food related.
I mean, because there's movie theaters here.
The movies come out later, though. The movies come out later.
Yeah.
Movies get released here a little bit later than they do in the States. So I remember when we were getting ready for the Oscars, we like to try and watch all the Oscar films before the Oscars. I know, we'll feed you soon, my darling.
Just lay down.
But we couldn't watch all of the nominations because some of them hadn't even been released here. I'm sure we could have like VPN'd it or done something illegal, but we didn't. So good for us. So basically we just miss a lot of food.
And friends and family.
And friends and family. Have you done anything you'd consider to be super Australian? I eat Vegemite with my breakfast on my toast. I got one.
What?
We have been to a sausage sizzle at Bunnings. If you know, you know. Okay? We've been to a sausage sizzle at Bunnings, which is basically just like we roll up
a couple times.
Bunnings is kind of like the Home Depot of Australia, and you just kind of roll up, and there's sometimes firefighters and sometimes 14-year-olds. It's really a crapshoot who you're gonna get. Serving sausages off the barbecue, and they slice them up and they put them on white bread.
Yep. Get some onions and
some tomato sauce
or barbecue sauce.
And you're on your way. Oh, we got a beach umbrella.
Yeah.
We got a beach umbrella.
Thing.
We've been to a sausage sizzle and we got a beach umbrella. So we're basically acclimated at this point. Are the people friendly? My God.
Yeah,
yes.
Very friendly.
Super friendly. I mean, you talk about like the Seattle freeze where people in Seattle are supposedly just rude or mean, which I never actually felt like was...
I don't know if rude or mean, just like
welcome. Don't engage with me.
Yeah.
I don't know. People here are really friendly. I have had more conversations in driveways with strangers in my life since we moved here 8 months ago.
Our neighbor leaves baked goods on our front door.
Oh my God. We get like just crepes. We've had crepes. We've had pancakes and we've had cakes. We've had biscuits, and she'll just text me. She's delightful. I love her. And she'll just be like, there's some crepes on your front porch. I don't know why I did that voice. That's not what she sounds like. But I'll just be like, oh, can you go get the crepes off the front porch? Like, this is just our life now. Whoops. Okie dokie. Didn't we already answer that? Okay. What's McDonald's like? I don't remember who asked me that. Who asked me that?
A couple different
It
things.
is so much better. I'll fight you. It's in my head, but I feel like the meat here is better. It's, Australian beef. Sorry if you're a vegetarian. Awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that we eat regularly, but we've been a few times, and I feel like it's also pretty expensive. I mean,
not much less than going to
a takeaway.
A different takeaway place that's a little bit better burger.
When we were driving up to Foster in January, we stopped at McDonald's to eat on the way, and he was driving, and he's like, oh, I'll just get a burger, and I can just eat it while we're driving. Freaking gets his burger, and it's like the size of his face, so we have to pull over so he can eat it. We just pulled over in this random neighborhood and watched this poor beekeeper struggle to like remove a hornet's nest.
I don't think he was a beekeeper.
Okay.
I think he was some guy who rented a bee suit because he had a bee problem in his tree.
I feel like you're definitely right. He was not a beekeeper, but we just sat there with our burgers and we were like, oh, almost got him.
He's trying to knock it down from his tree.
Burger King is not a thing here, but they have the same exact logo, and it's called Hungry Jack's. Yeah. I know. Are you a Hungry Jack?
Yeah, she's a very hungry Jack.
She's being dramatic. She's fine. We're going to feed her in a minute.
We do feed her.
We do feed her, actually quite a lot, as you'll see from the belly. Is it pretty expensive comparatively?
Yes.
Short answer, yes.
Yes.
It is expensive AF to live here. I actually think the meat here is pretty affordable. And that's probably because Australia's got like a pretty good meat economy.
Yeah, there's a lot of toll roads.
Oh yeah, there's tolls. Lots of tolls here. So you need to get a tag for your car.
E-toll tag.
Because if you don't, you're just going to get mailed the tolls.
And it's more expensive if it's through the mail.
Yeah. So tolls, lots of tolls everywhere, which is another reason why public transit is so great here, because you can take that in and avoid the tolls.
Which is still pretty expensive too, though.
I mean, it's relative, I think. But yeah, no, I guess it is expensive.
It's $5 a trip.
It depends where you're going.
Yeah.
It's, you know...
It depends on how far you go. I think the max you spend on how far you go is like $8 something.
No way, because the airport has a toll. The airport has like its own fee.
That's separate.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
if you were on the train, the max you would spend is $8 something.
Okay. But to put it into a like comparative light, when I flew home from Thailand in January, I walked out of baggage claim with my bags and walked down the escalator, stood on the escalator while it carried me down, and got on the train at the airport and took the train all the way up to northern Sydney. So the airport in Sydney is in southern Sydney, and we live up in northern Sydney. So it took the train all the way up to northern Sydney, and I guess I had to do one transfer at Central, which is me running through with my train. Yeah. And it cost me, I think it was like $27 Australian dollars to get from the airport back to my home suburb. But then if you look at an Uber home from the airport was like $150. So really, public transit is actually pretty affordable comparatively in that sense. Electricity here is unreal.
Yeah, electricity is really expensive.
But water isn't.
Internet's not too bad.
Comparative, yeah.
Yeah, water hasn't been expensive, but there's some fees that our landlords pay that we don't have to pay.
That's
for
true,
some reason.
Because we're renting.
Not asking questions.
Yeah, don't talk about it. Wine is very affordable.
Alcohol is expensive.
But liquor is so expensive, and beer. Liquor and beer are so expensive. I mean, you can get a fifth of
Bullet bourbon.
A fifth of Bullet bourbon in Seattle is how much?
Like 35.
35?
Maybe 20 some. Maybe.
I guess it depends
27.
if there's like a sale, but high 20s, low 30s for a fifth. And how much is it here?
Like 50. Yeah.
Our favorite tequila, which was like 25 or so in the States, is about $60 here. And I mean, you can't really go much cheaper. Like it's, you know, that tequila that's got the lid is like a sombrero, which you can get in the US for like $11 or something. That's like $45 here. So like, if I'm gonna pay for tequila, I'm gonna pay an extra $15 to not have a hangover.
I just remember when your cousins visited us years ago in Seattle, they were taking photos of the alcohol prices at Safeway.
Right, because it was so cheap. And that is our thing. Once we are allowed to have visitors here, once we are allowed to have visitors here who come in through Sydney, the toll price is picking up liquor and duty free for the house. Okay? That's the deal. We've almost been here for 9 months. So what is your takeaway?
What was my take?
9 months. Living abroad for 9 months.
It's been a big change.
A huge change.
Huge change.
I think I've struggled maybe more than you have, but also I'm just more like open with my...
You're a little more stuck in the house too, where
Right.
I mean, pre-COVID, I was at work 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Now it's more like 3 days a week.
But you're still at least getting out of the house. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm really happy. I don't have any regrets. I'm really glad that we made the move, and I think it's great for our family. But it's been really hard with COVID. Excuse me. I know. It's been really hard with COVID. And just like the isolation of it all, with not having very many friends here. It's been hard. Would I change anything? No. I think that what we did was really cool and brave and crazy, but this is what we've decided to do, and this is what we're doing, and we're doing it, you know? I'm excited to see how like the next year unfolds. I mean, it's been a really intense, like emotionally, it's been a really intense, emotional 9 months since we moved here. I'm excited to be able to share with you guys our like journey and it'll be fun. We'll do a little update video, you know, maybe 6 months from now, we'll sit down and answer some more questions and see if things have changed. But thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you kind of want to keep up with us and see what we're doing and where we're going and all the crazy stuff we're getting up to. We will see you next time. Let's feed the cat.